Gen Z is about to become the richest generation alive, and I don't think we're ready. And no, this is not from any hard work of our own, this is all from inheritance. In the next few years, trillions of dollars are about to be passed down to Gen Z from baby boomers, according to the Bank of America. But this is in 2035. When you compare this to things that are happening right now, things couldn't look more different.
Is there ever gonna be a day where I don't have to worry about like my finances? Probably not, dude.
We scroll past luxury halls, we see countless high-rise apartments. There's a scary number of Gen Z who are struggling to meet the basic needs of simple rent, childcare, and utilities. You can blame this on inflation, the cost of living crisis, the lack of jobs available, the rates of unemployment. But the truth is, a lot of us weren't taught how to build wealth. We feel guilty when we spend on ourselves. We tell ourselves that we're bad with money. We tell ourselves we don't know how to save. If only we had more money, then we would start saving. But the truth is, deep down, these aren't just the things that we say, these are patterns. Like a lot of the annoying little quirks and personality traits that we have, these were formed in childhood. And I call this the money print. Just like your fingerprint, your money print is unique to you. Everyone's looks a little bit different. Your money print represents your beliefs, opinions, and feelings around money, but also your ceiling around money. Your money print represents how much money can enter your bank account before you start self-sabotaging. Your money print represents how little can enter your bank account because you're a workaholic that has no free time. And your money print tells you that in order to earn money, you have to work hard. So you have barely any time or energy left to work towards making more. And if you don't know what your money print is, chances are it's already running the show. In this video, I'm going to break down some of the most common limiting beliefs and money prints that influence people and their behaviors. If you're watching this and you want to go from feeling stressed when you look at your bank account to feeling good when you look at your bank account, then trust me, it's more of a reality than you think. Then keep on watching. Hey, if you're new, welcome to the cozy corner of the internet. I'm your host, Christina, and I help people stop shrinking and start living. I'm excited for today's video. I've not done a specific video before on just money. I've talked about careers, jobs, the job market, AI. I've talked about purpose, all the other things as well, relationships, friendships. I talk about life on this channel. I'm sure you guys that are regulars probably know, but I've not made a specific video on just money before. Money beliefs, money behaviors, self-sabotaging around money. And I'm quite excited because I've had quite a journey when it comes to money. I'm going to get into details later on in the video, but before I go into the video, I do want to make you guys aware. I've got some exciting news. I have been working in the background on a community, a tight-knit, close circle of people who want to dive deeper with me. If you've ever watched some of my videos and you really enjoy the content, you maybe have read my ebook, you've maybe downloaded some workbooks, maybe you've applied for coaching. I've jumped on a bunch of calls with you who are interested in coaching. I'm now working on a very small, tight-knit community of around 15 women who want to work closely with me every week. You'd have the chance to be a part of a like-minded community and also join live group calls with me, be coached by me, have your questions and dilemmas answered by me. I'm putting together some of the finishing touches, finishing up like the writing and the packaging and everything in it. And yeah, it should be available pretty soon. If you want to be the first to find out and the first to join, because like I said, there's only 15 slots available. Once that's full, it will be closed. There won't be any opportunity to join for the foreseeable future. The people who join at the first round are going to be kind of like my founding members. You will be the cohort that really helps me to shape and craft this into a truly transformational community, and I'm so excited. So if that sounds interesting, please join the waitlist where you can find out more in the description box below. I was having a very surprisingly chill day at work the other day. You know those days where it's so chill you're almost a bit suspicious, like I'm not doing very much, where there's about to be a storm coming, like it's too chill. I remember scrolling on my phone coming across this article that was talking about how Gen Z is about to become the richest generation. In the next few years, trillions of dollars are about to be passed down to Gen Z from baby boomers, according to the Bank of America. I think this is interesting because we see all of those memes about like how baby boomers complain that Gen Z don't know how to save and manage their money, but really they bought a house for 2 raspberries and a banana. And it's interesting that there's actually going to be a point where this generation that had it so easy building wealth, getting on the property ladder, is now actually going to transfer all of their earnings and their wealth to Gen Z and Gen Alpha maybe. And inheritance is an interesting topic because I often don't even think about this much of myself personally. I don't have any grandparents that will pass anything down to me, not because Not because they don't like me, but just because my grandparents aren't even in the UK. And the grandparents that I do have, I think they literally have like 20 plus grandchildren that I don't even think I would be on their radar. Like, I've never met them. They have so many. Like, I'm not on the list. So I'm not inheriting anything. But one of the books that I've started reading recently, it's by Ramit Sethi. The book is called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Very cringe title, very sus title, makes you think that he's about to sell you something or be a bit of like a scammer. But essentially, it's a book all about how to like get on top of your finances, track budgets, save, invest, and how to really live your rich life, whatever that looks like for you. And in the book, he kind of talks about how the way you feel about money is actually highly unrelated to how much money you have in your bank account. And some of the most common self-conscious beliefs, unfortunately, are negative ones. They're things like, oh, I'm just bad with money. I never know how to save. Money is the root of all evil. Money corrupts people, and so much more. And in this video, I want to go down and dissect some of the most common ones. And I want you to let me know in the comments below, which ones do you think resonate with you and which ones you kind of feel as though like this sounds a bit like you. First up, I'm just bad with money. Money just disappears every month. I don't know where it goes. When we speak in real life terms, this is so common to actually be a reality. The moment you pay your rent, pay a couple bills, you have an unexpected parking ticket, you buy something for a friend whose birthday it is, it's no surprise that, yeah, the money does disappear. That's the real terms reality of money just flies out of my account every month. In this video, I really want to focus on like the psychology and the emotions behind it. This concept of being bad with money, if you are someone that says that consistently, perpetually, I don't know how to track, I don't know how to save, I don't know where to start, it's all too much, it's overwhelming, I'm not very good, I've never been good, no one ever showed me, all of these kind of beliefs. This is actually a term that psychologist Martin Seligman calls learned helplessness. And it's essentially this concept that describes when you're consistently faced with a negative situation, even though you try to improve it, after a certain period of time, you just give up. And so sometimes when it comes to our finances, we're met with a parking ticket, we forget our lunch, our child has some trip that they have to pay for, or some uniform, or some book. When things come up unexpectedly, and it always seems unexpected with money, sometimes these things you literally can't predict. After a period of time of you being completely out of control, you essentially hand over control. You say that you really have no control over your finances. There's nothing you can do. You tried to save, you tried to budget, but your tire had a hole in it, or you had a puncture, and you simply give up and you just say, I'm bad with money. Take this diagram, for example. I feel like it encompasses the beliefs of I'm bad with money. Say, for example, you avoid money. It causes stress, makes you feel anxious, makes you feel like there's not enough there. Naturally, because you avoid money, you might feel behind or you might make poor decisions. You're not on top of things. You don't quite know just how much. You've not kind of run the numbers on things. You've not predicted. You've not planned. Naturally, when you kind of make poor decisions, your financial situation probably worsens. And because things get worse, you feel guilty. Now, because you're feeling guilty about money all over again, you avoid money even more. And the cycle just continues. However, there is a chance to break the cycle. Say, for example, when your financial situation worsens, you take this as the chance to, okay, now maybe I should reflect on something. I always recommend the number one best place to get on top of your finances and for you to like really feel in control is honestly just to track your spending. I use this app called Snoop. I've used it for a few years. This is not sponsored. It's an app that categorizes all of your spending. So for example, for June already, I know that I've spent nearly £1,000. I know that most of it's probably gone on finances, like transferring money back and forth from different accounts. 153 has gone to subscriptions, 130 on transport, groceries is only 14. Not much on groceries so far. I am due a food shop. My number one best tip for people that feel like I'm bad with money just flies out of my account. Well, at least see where it's flying to. Download Snoop. Again, not sponsored. I just love this app. Back to this diagram. When you feel like you reflect on what's in your control, again, I think that would probably be the one positive habit. Like if you had to have one positive habit, that would literally be just track your spending. All you have to do is download an app. And then a really important one is small wins, because a large part of this cycle is feeling guilty. This feeling guilty is what gets you back to the start of the cycle. If you at least break this part of feeling guilty by just having moments where you celebrate your wins, I'm on top of my spending now. I've downloaded the app, or I cut back on groceries this month. It wasn't 75 anymore. It's now 65. Like these small wins are so important because you feeling guilty is almost the fuel for you being bad with money. Next money print. I feel guilty spending on myself. Maybe you're someone that's actually kind of organized with money. You've already tracked your spending. You know how much you spend on rent and groceries and all these things. However, you're someone that's just so organized and maybe such a saver that you actually feel guilty buying anything for yourself. You'd rather go hungry than buy a snack that's overpriced and get an overpriced coffee. Or you'd rather buy yourself something secondhand than treat yourself to something brand new. You'd rather go without a new pair of trainers, even though your current pair of trainers literally has a hole in them. The psychology around this money print is the idea that you have to work to earn your worth. In a book that I'm currently reading, it's called Money on Your Mind. It's by a woman called Vicky Reynolds. She says that it's commonly women and often immigrants that have this belief that to be worth buying things for, or to be worthy, you must work to earn it. So this money print starts off a little bit different. You start off feeling like, I don't feel valuable. You now feel like you have to work hard to raise your self-worth. Because you work hard, you make money through your hard work. Maybe through job, side hustle, babysitting, whatever it is, you make some progress. However, you don't give yourself credit. And because you don't give yourself credit, you don't feel valuable. Because you don't feel valuable, you work hard. Because you work hard, you make money, but then you make progress, but then you don't give yourself credit. And it starts all over again. And there might even be moments where you kind of break the cycle, actually. Maybe there's moments where you make money easily. That sounds like it would feel nice. Oh, I just got £100 just like that. I just got $200 just like that. However, we all have a different number. If this is you, this used to be a money belief that I had. Everyone's number is different. Maybe you can receive £50 easily, £100 easily, but the moment it's £150, you now start to feel guilty. And because you feel guilty, you feel like, okay, let me make up for it. Let me work hard to be worth this. I really encourage you to have a think about this, because chances are, if you're a workaholic, perfectionist, I have to do everything right, I have to go above and beyond, this probably is your money print. And now you might be wondering, how do I find out my money print? Well, you're in luck. I've put together another workbook for you guys. This workbook is called the Upgrading Your Money Print Workbook. This workbook is designed to help you really uncover and get crystal clear on your money print, not only to understand it, but also to rewrite it, because we don't want to be stuck like this forever. This workbook will help you understand some of the money psychology that's fueling your decisions currently and help you to reshape them into more empowering beliefs. And now, before I get on to the next money print, one thing I will say about this one, I feel guilty spending on myself. This often transpires beyond finances. Have you ever been to a store and, you ask someone for something like, oh, heck, can you help me find this product? I can't find it on the shelf. And someone goes looking for you. They're really kind. But then you notice that they're taking a long time, and they're looking and they're looking and they're going to the back, and then it's not in the back. It's not in the warehouse. And you might start to feel bad by how much time it's taking. This belief, which on the surface is simply, I feel guilty spending on myself, goes beyond your finances and often can be, I feel guilty whenever anyone is spending on me. And if you're like me and you love to ask why on things, like, but why? Why do I feel guilty spending money on myself? I used to have this belief. I used to feel guilty anyone spending time on me or like investing a lot of effort. I used to feel bad. It essentially comes down to your nervous system. Your nervous system holds the keys to what you feel safe doing, receiving, and accepting in life. So we'll keep it on the topic of finances, but if you feel really uncomfortable with someone like giving you quite a large volume of money that you literally did nothing for, or if you feel guilty with your friend spending 6 hours on something that you thought would take 20 minutes and you feel guilty, it's probably because your nervous system does not feel safe receiving that amount of time or effort from someone. And I've made a whole entire video on this. I do encourage you to watch that. I'll link it at the top. What oftentimes keeps people like this and people like I once was as workaholics, perfectionists, doing the absolute most to try and make more money and create stability for themselves, but never having a break, never having free time, is because you literally don't feel safe resting. Your nervous system does not feel comfortable at all taking a break, stepping back, receiving, kicking back, taking a break. Like you feel safe and comfortable. I know this sounds weird, but you feel safe and comfortable working really hard and almost burning out. Like that is actually your comfort zone. The reason why you might find like, why am I working so hard, but I'm not making any more money? I'm doing the absolute most. Like, how can I ever take on more work because I'm already doing a lot? Is because your nervous system doesn't have any more room to receive. You don't feel safe receiving. The way to, if it is a goal of yours to make more money, or you want to know how to actually have more free time or just relax more, make more money whilst doing less, it's all about nervous system regulation, making sure that you feel safe, you can breathe, you don't feel like you're at a threat, you're not panicking by actually working less than you can. On another topic, something that I wanted to share, which was interesting from a book I read, is this concept of we're wasting our time trying to cut costs. There's a guy called Ramit Sethi. I think I've already mentioned him. He wrote the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He has this concept in his book called $3 questions versus $30,000 questions. Essentially, we ask ourselves too many $3 questions. How can I cut back on my cups of coffee? Or how can I cut back on my Netflix subscription? Should I go from the ad-free to the ad tier so that I save a bit of money? Or should I cancel Netflix entirely? He says that this is, a beginner's route to trying to save money or even to build wealth, but it's really like a waste of time. He's actually such like a cutthroat person. I highly recommend his content. He says instead he recommends $30,000 questions. How can I negotiate my salary and get a raise? How can I maybe switch industries or switch jobs and get a higher paying role? And this is also something that I have put in the Upgrading Your Money Print workbook, a specific section to help you in your journey make sure that you're not wasting time asking these silly little questions and instead start to ask the really important questions instead. Next money print, money is the root of all evil. Money corrupts people. Money makes you a bad person. Money makes the world go round. Maybe you've heard this. Maybe you believe this. Maybe you heard your parents say it. Things along these lines of like, rich people are bad, or, rich people don't spend their money well. Why would anyone waste their money on a first class flight? Why would anyone waste their money on such an ugly handbag? Things along those lines. I also had this belief to some extent. I didn't believe that money was the root of all evil, but I definitely had beliefs of like, why would rich people spend their money on that? Like, if you had £100,000, why would you buy that car? Or why would you buy, if you had £10,000, why would you buy that bag? Like, I was definitely back in the day a bit more judgmental of how people spent their own money. As I'm older, part of me is now like, a lot of people don't even own the things that they're flexing with. That's a story for another day. When you tell yourself money corrupts people, money makes people bad people, you don't realize just how much you are self-sabotaging. If your mind thinks that there's an entity and a group of people that are really bad and negative and have negative influences on the world, your brain subconsciously, this is beneath what you see yourself doing and see yourself saying, your mind is going to be almost protecting you from this bad set of people. In a sense, your mind is protecting you from earning more money, or not even protecting you. Your mind is stopping you from earning more money. If you believe, you have to work really hard to make a lot of money, you feel bad working and charging people higher prices. You feel like you do keep your prices low and you should work for free. You feel bad charging for money. You feel like you have to undercharge yourself, you downplay your successes, you're someone that says rich people are greedy. Maybe you're a bit burnt out as well because you're working so hard. If you really see money as a bad thing, it's almost like a wall. Like, you're not going to be able to get past this wall and get to money because your brain says, well, this is a bad thing. This is a negative thing. This is on a deeper subconscious level. You don't even realize that your brain is like blocking you from certain things or stopping you from replying to certain messages, ignoring certain things. Your brain is like doing it subconsciously. You can't even see it happening, but it's very much putting up this wall to stop you getting closer to money because you see it as a toxic thing. And it's sad because the reality of wealth is that wealth is just a symbol really for abundance. I'm sure if you felt abundant and if you felt like you have enough money, you would say to yourself, it's okay to celebrate your wins. Like, I'm doing a good job. I'm good at what I do. If you felt abundant, you'd be comfortable taking breaks. If you felt abundant with money, you'd probably trust yourself with money. If you felt like there is more than enough to go around, there isn't a lock on the amount of money that there is in the world. There's always more being made. Like, there really is always more being made. There's always more being circulated. If you felt that way, you'd probably feel comfortable charging your worth. You wouldn't have to work for free. And what I find, not just in finances, but in career, in life, you'll always feel behind if you haven't defined what success looks like for you. I know for me, success now looks like enjoying what I do day to day, buying things and treating myself to things from time to time, and planning for the future. Like that really is success to me. When I was working this job and I hated this job and I was planning my escape, success was really like moving halfway across the country, getting a whole new job, moving all my stuff, starting all over again. And I was getting excited about like the journey of, starting a new life in London and making new friends. And it seemed exciting at the time, but now like that's not what I want. Like it's what I guess I was inspired by based on a lot of content, a lot of articles I read based on people who'd like changed their lives in 6 months and like quit their jobs and done a whole new thing. I was like inspired by that. And I thought that's what I wanted. Whereas now success really is just enjoying my job. Like, if I enjoy my day, I come home from work in the car and I'm like, that was a good day, I am successful that day. Like, I know it sounds basic, but it really, really is. And, It's really interesting, money and talking about a rich life and success, because there's almost this like wealth paradox. A lot of the time, culturally, online, there's such a distaste for wealthy people, and it almost seems like it's in extremes nowadays. Like when I say wealth, I'm sure you're probably thinking millionaires and billionaires, and I am actually thinking that as well. However, wealth could honestly be just six figures. Like if you're someone that can retire 50 to 60, you have six figures in your bank account, you don't have to work anymore, you can look after your grandkids or your children. To me, that's pretty wealthy. You don't have to work anymore. Like, I feel like our concept of wealth is so warped, and it's honestly become a bit ridiculous what is considered wealthy anymore. A lot of the time, a lot of us are chasing wealth. We want more money. We want to pay our bills. We want to have savings, yet we don't like rich people. It's like a very strange thing. That will also create a lot of resistance, self-sabotage to you receiving more money, because you hate the very people that you want to become. Or maybe this is your money print. I have a feeling it might be this one. I'll be happy once I have more money. How many of us have said that? I definitely have before. The thing I've come to learn, having read a couple books on this like money psychology topic, is that ultimately a lot of us don't even actually want money. We just want safety and security. Money was just the proxy of how we thought we'd get it. This is a belief you likely had if you maybe had achievement focused parents that were super focused on grades, academics, winning things, and you maybe got reassurance and praise when you were achieving things, and then when you weren't, it was like crickets. Like you weren't hearing very much. This is maybe a money print you have if you've seen over time people being praised who are successful or do have symbols of money and wealth. As you use social media more, you just naturally see people online being praised who have more money. And so over time, you internalize this as like having more money makes you valuable, or you're happier once you're more wealthy. And I think this topic of enough is really interesting because, again, like a lot of these topics, it goes beyond money. The more I've learned planning this video, the more I've realized money is emotional. Like a lot of your money beliefs are just like emotional beliefs. On the topic of money, when you feel like you haven't got enough and you feel like, I have to save, I have to acquire, I have to get more, you're stressed, nervous, anxious. A lot of the times you kind of have like an insatiable desire. Like say you didn't feel like you were good enough in like your work and your performance. But then after a couple projects, after a couple reviews, after a couple like, end year meetings, you actually get some good feedback. You're told a couple times by your colleagues, oh, great job. Like you did such a good job over there. I'm really impressed. And so you get positive feedback, but low key in the back of your mind, you still don't feel good enough. Like no matter how much more feedback you get, reassurance you get, because it's an anxiety and because it's a serious like insecurity that you have that you're not good enough, it always lingers there no matter the feedback that you get. It even goes, say it's like an appearance that you're insecure about how you look and you don't feel good enough. Again, you could get compliments from, the opposite sex or, the gender you're attracted to. Or you could get likes on your Instagram post and you can gain followers. Because it's an insecurity, because it's literally anxiety, I'm not good enough, it always lingers with you. So similarly with money, when you have this belief that I don't have enough and you get a higher paying job, you could literally win the lottery. Or, I don't know, like you get a bonus, you get a raise. If this is a serious anxiety, like it's just not going to go away. Even if you earn more money. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you guys so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.